Hey everyone, Oz here with Business Lending Blueprint. I have one of my students join me today, Kevin. Hey Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Oz.
Awesome. Kevin is a part of my community and he's been having massive success recently. And I wanted to bring him on so I can get to know him a little more together with you guys and have him kind of share with us what he's been doing that's been working so great for him. Kevin, let's get started, buddy. So
Yep,
prior to you joining the Blueprint or finding out anything about me, what have you been doing? What's been going on? Can you give us a little background about yourself?
sure, definitely. Well, I started in this business actually, cash advance business, about since 2015, and it was new to me, obviously. I
Yeah.
came from a real estate background, and when the real estate market wasn't doing that well, I went into mortgage modification. So, and then when that wasn't doing well, I, switched to, and then I found this. I found Merchant Cash Advance. I was with this big company out in Long Island, and this company had a good number of people in the office, about 100, well, a good 50 to 100 people.
Oh wow.
And everyone is a big, big room, I remember. And everyone started by you had to bring in at least one to keep your job. You had to bring in at least one, one set of documents, application plus 3, 4 months bank statements in that very same week that you started.
Wow.
So yes, everyone. So that was the weeding out process. So you had to hit the ground running. And by the time, so you start at the front of the room, and if you don't meet your goal, you get fired, and they weed you out until you remain there. You learn enough and stuff like that. But I was there until I was at the front, started at the front of the room until end up at the 3 years later. I end up at the back of the room, right
Wow.
beside the management team in the back. So I learned a lot. We did a lot of credit card processing, credit card splits, deals.
Yeah.
That teach me a lot. That was my groundwork or my foundation to this business. That was about 2015.
I know very few people, very little amount of people who survive that long at a company. That's like because you can only grind so long, right?
Right.
It can't be a long-term strategy, but you stuck through it, man. That's wow. I applaud you for that. 3 years through
Yep.
a cycle like that. You better have very solid psychology to survive that.
So true, so true. A lot of people got fired. A lot of people went through so many people, but I stick with it. And
Yeah, of
but it was my foundation. I knew I had to learn this business inside out,
course.
stuff like that.
And what happened then?
During that time, well, after that, I couldn't go further
Yeah,
into management because it was a full slate of people over there.
I see.
And to tell the truth, I didn't even know how much commission I was making, what the commission rate, what was all the details of the trend. I just was just grinding it out, learning, finding out how this business works. And then I look at Craigslist a little bit around because I knew I was being cheated somehow.
Of course.
I look at Craigslist and then I move over to another cash advance company. And I found out that I was being cheated so much in terms of my commission. I think my commission there was like 10%,
Mm.
or maybe even less than 10%.
Yeah, you never know, right? It's usually much different than what they tell you they pay you.
Exactly. What happened is that I just decided that I need to make a switch.
Mm.
Started with another company. They start giving me, let's say, they were giving me 20% commission,
Okay.
and grow with them, continue with them until one day they told me, Kevin, you can't use your cell phone. That was in February this year. You
Really?
can't hold your cell phone in your hand. And I was like, what age am I?
Yeah.
I need my cell phone to do business. I need my cell phone to call my family,
Right.
and start coming up with all these silly rules, I think. And eventually I say, you know what? I need to run my own thing. So I
Yeah.
quit. And in February this year, I started running my own thing from home, one-man shop, and I never turned back. I've been making about, $7,000 a month.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have a continuous, people clients who come to me on a
Of
monthly
course.
basis for more cash, renewals, stuff like that. So I appreciate their business, and I
Yeah.
service them.
So, I mean, everything looks like it had been going well. So, what led you to search for a system like ours?
Oh
How
my
did you
God.
transition into this?
Oh my God. We're all people who have been in this business a long time. We're all tired of making so much phone calls,
All right.
grinding it out like a boiler room situation, even though that's where I started. And I do enjoy doing that, but um, we just want to get calls coming in or inbound, or a more smarter way of doing business. When I
Mhm.
found your system, I was a bit hesitant. I didn't know the cost, or I didn't really know exactly where, what the emails still kept on coming to my phone, my cell phone. The emails kept coming to my emails, and I I said, you know what, let me close a couple deals and sign up on this program. I found out, I spoke to somebody in the company, find out about the costs. 2 weeks later, I joined up
Nice.
because I wanted to move my business from, 7,000 a month up to, 15, 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month, and beyond.
Yeah,
So
that's a very clear distinction because from your experience, I mean, if you kept doing what you're doing, you'll do okay, right? You'll still do your 5 to 10K, but that's pretty much it because you can't just double your efforts. Well, there's a maximum amount of time you can put it in. So you're not gonna call 3,000 people in one day. Like, you cannot. You can only get so efficient with your body. That's just the problem,
exactly,
right? But with
exactly.
machines, that's much different. You can push them and you can just leverage your time. I think you kind of reach that point to notice, listen, all right, it's good and I'm making money. I'm working from home. That's the dream for most people, obviously. But with the current strategy, I can't really go beyond that, right?
You can't, definitely cannot. And it's my dream to get to 20, 30, 40,000.
Yeah.
I want to get to that level where, and, I see that dream coming alive right now, coming to becoming a reality
Yeah.
through the
And
system
honestly, in
that
the
you have.
Blueprint program, we don't have a lot of people who come from telemarketing background because a lot of the times, if you have like that heavy telemarketing background, transition doesn't become easy because over the years you kind of do your own thing, right? So you always just took action, and when you tell someone, listen, that part of what you're doing, you can automate it. People don't believe that. Whereas someone who hasn't been exposed to that, they're just much easier to
Yeah,
transition because they don't have any background in what else they can do. Like they just adapt to it. So
right,
definitely
exactly.
one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, that adaptation period for you was much faster, right? So believe it or not, like when I talk to my team, I tell them specifically if someone has very strong telemarketing background, just make sure that he's or she's a good fit for this because this will require doing 180 degrees of opposite of what they're doing, right? Make sure they're okay with that because we don't want someone to start and next day go back telemarketing because they think it's just that is just usually the problem. But you seem to
Yeah.
have broken through that very fast. So and you posted within our group your successes. Well, let's talk about it. What has been happening since you joined and actively participating in the blueprint?
Yeah. I have been basically, uh, there are different ways of doing this business. And through your system, you have LinkedIn, right?
Mhm.
Oh my God. I make sure in the mornings I, log on, do my thing, and I get a couple of clients through that. And they're not necessarily cash advance clients, but they're SBA loans. They're doing, talking about credit, lines of credit, things like that. So I have a few of that going on in my, coming up to be closed very soon. I have actually one for 350,000 soon to be closed up. All right.
Wow.
Now, yeah, and that's an SBA loan, and that's never heard of that in my entire business life. I would always hear people talking about, oh, you guys rates are terrible. You guys cash advance rates are terrible, 40%, whatever the case is. And I can get money from, a bank. And, I didn't know I could actually be a bank one day. I can get those type of rates also. And this is like this is heaven for me right now, where we can actually give different types of products, and you have income from several different ways.
It's such a relief, I believe, for everyone involved, that you don't have to push what you have in your agenda anymore, but only push what is good for the customer, right? Because back then, like someone challenged me about 2 weeks ago, one of the bigger MCA companies, they said, in one of your videos, you say that no MCA company knows other products. Well, we do have it on our website. I'm like, awesome. So how many have you sold last month? How many SBAs have you sold? Yeah, you do have a page on it on your website, but if I pull your best guy from the phone and ask him to pitch me SBA, will he be able to do it? They're like, well, I mean, not really, but we have, like, that's what I mean. Like, you guys have no idea, besides, merchant cash advance, you're not really offering anything 99% of the time. Yeah, if it is a one-off deal, maybe the owner will take it or whatever, but the most of the industry are not really an alternative lending industry. They are in merchant cash advance industry. Would you agree?
Precisely. Oh, you're in a different level. You're on a completely different level than all of those merchant, and I've been around, I've seen it. You're on a completely different level than all of those companies. And all they do is they buy UCC list, and then they have a whole big room calling those lists every day. They make money because it's cash advance, yes, but they're not being consultative. They're not being professional about this thing. Not getting the best for each client. No, you can't put a square in a round hole, So you gotta meet the customers. In terms of my other deals, especially the deals that I talked to you about or posted on Facebook recently with you guys, those are basically deals that I have clients who now trust me more because of the system. Yeah. I can give them this, I can give them this, and can give them that, and they now see me more as a professional than even before. They liked me before, now they love me.
Yeah, you transition from being a sales guy to a consultant, which makes a massive difference, right? So a lot of people say, oh, Oz, I have years of sales experience. You might have years of sales experience. I trust that, but I doubt that anyone from this industry have years of consultative sales experience, because like what you're doing right now, where you have access to multiple products, there's really no need for hard selling anyone. Like you don't need to know those closing tactics that you pull someone so hard that they can't even breathe. Like
if you blink, if you hear something, if you hear a sigh in their voice, or if you hear a little thing in their voice, that's when you close. No, you don't need to do all that. No tricks. You just keep. You're a consultant.
Yeah.
And I tell you, one of my clients that I did close just recently, I was chasing her for a long time. I was calling her. And one of the things in this business, you have to be patient. You have to be consistent.
Of course.
But I was calling her until I sent her my website. Until I presented myself as a consultant.
Yep.
She bought immediately and gave me a nice commission in the first week of the month. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
And
because
she's gonna,
before she didn't have the confidence to trust you on that regard, not as a person, but
yeah,
as what you're representing, right? Now, when you
exactly,
presented her with what you look like professionally, because if someone gets to know you as an individual, obviously they'll most likely trust you. But in business, the challenge is we don't have an opportunity to get to know each person one-on-one, right? That's why our company needs to represent ourselves professionally enough so someone seeing it from outside can say, all right, so he looks solid, like he's a real business. Let me
yeah,
just talk to him. And
exactly,
we did this testing with one of the other members in my 7-figure program. They've been dabbling in email marketing without like a proper website or anything like that. And they're saying, well, our open rates suffer. I told them, listen, let's go back since you have the foundation set up. I talk about foundation quite a bit, right? So let's do a simple email campaign. All of a sudden, they got 5 submissions. Why? Because their LinkedIn profile was, very modern and it was optimized. They had an actual website, the contact information, and all that stuff. All of a sudden, people who were hesitant before, now they're coming back and applying. That's just human psychology, right? When we're in doubt, we don't make decisions. We have to have some level of certainty or comfort with a person before we make any buying decision. That's how it works.
exactly, exactly. You know also that this lady, a friend of mine, she wanted also to build a website for me. She always said, you need to get professional. You need to, I asked her, so how much you gonna cost me? She
Yeah.
said, okay, since I know you, Kevin, I'm gonna give you the website for $1,000, right?
Ah, boy.
So I'm gonna give you the website for $1,000. So I said, I've been thinking about it. Then I came across your program on, and I tell you, for the amount that I paid for you, she would only give me the website for $1,000, and that would be it.
That would be it. Yeah.
That would be it. Now I have a whole entire system.
Yeah.
I'm looking at her like I'm so happy I did not go with her.
Well, she's not a marketer, right? She's a designer.
She's a
Like,
designer.
yeah,
Yes, she's a
yesterday
designer.
I received an email. Someone got my email through our website and sent an email saying that they're looking for someone to build a website for them. They are some level of call center, right? They said their budget for website is $10,000 to $12,000. They're looking for this perfect website. My response back to him was, "So what's your marketing plan with them after that?" They're like, "We're gonna get to that." Look, you know, it's like you can't build the best looking billboard in the middle of a desert if no one sees it, right? So you got to start with the marketing. Sometimes people have the wrong idea. They spare this massive, but either they don't have anything, or if they want to have something, they want to spend everything on it, not backed up with any marketing plan. So that to me, that's like, it's not going to work. Like we didn't take the project obviously, but
Obviously.
as a marketer, like you got to, I think one of the key takeaways that people tell me, yeah, you learn about this industry when you join the Blueprint, but my goal is to have people learn how to think like a marketer, how to think like a professional business owner. I think that's the game changer. If that was not the case, I would have created a training on how to sell better. Well, that's how much difference. I mean, if I added 1% to your sales skills, but no marketing, how much more could you possibly make? Not much.
Not much. You can grind it out, but how much hours you have in a day? Plus, it's just one person.
Yeah.
It's just one person. You're not a machine. And it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. And you have days that you're not so positive.
Exactly.
That happens
So
to
true.
human beings.
Everyone. But your system is amazing, and I love it, and I'm so happy to be here, and looking forward to my business. It's my baby. My business is my baby, and I am just so proud. Actually, I got some business cards yesterday, and
Nice.
and obviously, and you guys do business cards also? No, you don't.
No, we don't, because we don't get into like offline marketing, but I recommend it to anyone who has existing contacts. Like if you're gonna go to places and talk to people, so for sure. But if for someone who just starts out, I don't want them to just go to networking events and start. But if you already have existing clients, so that's a different story.
Yeah, exactly. So I dabble in that a little in terms of expanding what I have, but I was looking at the, Vistaprint and stuff like that, and they were like, you can put it on the pen, you can put your name on company name.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
felt good. This is my baby. I want to definitely,
Of course.
build up that baby up into, but I can't wait to get to 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month. Obviously, I'm looking at your 7-figure program, and one day I'm gonna get there. But I'm really, really excited about the future.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you'll get there in no time. I mean, you adapted really fast, and you just already, I have a massive pipeline, funding deals, and building more credibility in the marketplace. So
Oh
that's
my God.
a winner for me. Any last thoughts you want to add before I let you go?
I just want to tell you that, my daughter, I started my business name is my daughter's name, Camber, K for Kimberly, and her middle name is Amber, so it's Camber.
That's beautiful.
But so that's behind me. I want to really build this business. I can leave a legacy behind one day.
Absolutely. And you can only do that through business ownership, right? So you can't really create or leave a legacy by working for someone else. I think you already pull that trigger, and you've been running your business. And we all need a why to build massively successful businesses. I can tell that yours is your daughter. You named your company after her. That's pretty amazing. Because one of the things that I know, that one of the easier ways to get to your goal is to remind yourself constantly why you're doing it, right?
Yes.
The way I decorate my office is not, I don't really care if it looks cool or not. I want to decorate it with things that remind me why I'm doing what I'm doing, because that's very important. This is where you work is almost like a sacred place. It can't be, you can't just put random things in there. Anything you put in there, whether it's like the paintings, all of them have meanings for me, and I have a bunch of books here. They all need to support the common goal you're working towards. If it does, then it makes it easier. But if for example, that's why I hate the idea of cubicles, like where you're working with someone else, right? It feels like you're in a jail, so it doesn't really support an environment. So home office, you can do that. Your personal office, you can do that. So definitely a great idea to name a company that has a lot deeper meaning than just a company name you look up online.
No.
But thanks so much for your transparency, Kevin. Great to have you here, buddy. Definitely looking forward to your success further. Okay.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care now.
All right. Take care.
Bye bye.